Logging in America stretched as far as back as the 1600s. With the arrival of settlers in Jamestown in 1607, lumber was an essential to the North American economy. Shipbuilding fueled the need for lumber. The demand increased exponentially with the advent of the Industrial Revolution. By the 1830s, Bangor, Maine was the biggest lumber export, exported over 8.7 trillion board feet in between 1832 and 1888. Throughout the 19th century, Americans headed west in search for new land and natural resources. The passage of the Homestead Act of 1862 tempted settlers to make the long and arduous journey west, as the promise of 160 acres per family of which they could work and live. These forests were often heavily wooded, requiring homesteaders to clear the land before it could be used. At the same time, the forest of the Midwest was dwindling, forcing loggers to seek the new sources of green gold. Because lumber is so essential to the American people, it is easy to see why it is still a leading economic boom. It provides us with over 266,000 jobs nationwide. It helps the families of the northern freezing states stay warm. It gives us space to grow our crops and space to grow our communities. But how else does it affect us? Well, that's what I'm here to answer. To help get a better look, we're going to look at one single tree and how it affects the environment. For starters, it is said that 80% of all terrestrial organisms live in the trees, and that some 2.3 million organisms can live in a single tree. Destroying these trees just means destroying the homes and lives of millions upon millions of organisms. Some of those same organisms are essential to the corresponding food web of the ecosystem. A plant, for example. Removing the plants from the ecosystem means removing the food source that an insect may need. Those insects would soon die, and that means the organisms that feed off the insects would soon die as well. It is easy to see how each and every organism is important to one another. Looking closer, logging also has a major effect on greenhouse gases. Like said before, forest loss contributes to 20% of greenhouse gas emissions. But why? Let's go to the whiteboard and try and figure out why the process of photosynthesis is so important in helping us breathe. This one's for you, Sam. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants use sunlight to synthesize glucose from carbon dioxide and water. Now, the great thing about photosynthesis is that oxygen is a byproduct. Let's look at the carbon cycle to see how this is important. Now we'll be looking at two of the main parts of the carbon cycle, at least for us. So basically, us humans, we breathe in oxygen. Are you with me? Okay. So then, at the same time, we exhale CO2, carbon dioxide. While we are doing this, the plants, to get their food, they intake the CO2 that we breathe. And as a byproduct, like I said before, O2. that same O2 is the O2 that we breathe. It's kind of like a no-brainer of why we should save the trees. We need to look how this affects the people on this earth on a social level. Over 1.2 billion people live and rely off the Earth's forest. Anywhere from hunting and gathering to your great-grandfather's summer cabin. Just think, that's almost 1/7 of the Earth's population that are at risk of being dramatically destroyed. Not only that, but countries like the US get up to 25% of their modern medicine from the tropical forests of the Amazon. Cutting it down just means slowly progresses our medical advances.
Hopefully you guys are still listening, understanding that we are slowly destroying the very same earth that was gifted to us, taking the lives of animals that we had no business taking. If you're one of the few people who actually care, who wants to breathe, or wants to live a long, healthy life, it is time for you to take action. Probably the best way to help is to donate to the many state and national parks near us. Every day, acre after acre is being threatened to be logged down. It is time for you to help those who can't help themselves.